As the bidding for the diamond necklace reached its crescendo, Sophia, who had been observing the intense exchange between Adriana and Michael with keen interest, made a calculated decision. Her eyes, sharp and calculating, locked onto the dazzling piece as the auctioneer's voice echoed through the room. 1.5 million, Michael had declared with a mix of anger and resignation, his bid hanging in the air like a challenge. Adriana's triumphant gaze met Michael's conflicted expression, a moment of victory mingled with tension. But just as the auctioneer was about to conclude the sale, Sophia, standing a few rows back, raised a paddle decisively. 2 million. Sophia's voice cut through the charged atmosphere, her bid significantly higher than Michael's, injecting a new wave of surprise and intrigue into the room. The auctioneer paused, momentarily taken aback by the unexpected turn. $2 million, he announced. His voice carried across the hall with a new weight of excitement and anticipation. As the bidding for the diamond necklace reached its peak, Sophia's bold move to bid $2 million stunned the room, including Adriana and Michael. Adriana, fueled by determination and a sense of competition, turned to Michael with a resolute look. "Michael, we can't let her outbid us," Adriana urged, her voice urgent. Michael hesitated, his mind racing with the implications of such a steep bid. "Adriana, are you sure? This is getting out of hand." Adriana's eyes flashed with stubborn resolve. "We've come this far, Michael. We can't back down now. Bid higher. We can't lose to her." Michael glanced between Adriana and the auctioneer, weighing his options. With a deep breath, he raised his paddle again. 3 million, he declared reluctantly, his voice carrying a hint of reluctance and defiance. The room murmured in response to Michael's bid, the tension mounting as Sophia's composed expression remained unchanged. Adriana clenched her fists, her heart beating way fast, like it was about to burst out of her chest, with a mixture of anticipation and anxiety. Just as it seemed Michael and Adriana might regain the upper hand, Sophia's voice cut through the room once more, calm and unwavering. 5 million, she stated confidently, her bid shattering any hope of Adriana and Michael continuing the bidding war. Adriana's shoulders slumped slightly, realization dawning upon her. They had been outplayed. Michael too felt the weight of defeat settle in, his expression a mix of resignation and lingering frustration. He knew he couldn't go further. If he did, it would be the end. He would lose a huge amount of money on a necklace that's not going to be useful. The auctioneer, astonished by the sudden escalation in bids, confirmed Sophia's winning offer. "Sold for $5 million, he announced, his voice echoing through the hall. Sophia accepted the congratulations and nods of admiration graciously, his smile reflecting both satisfaction and a subtle sense of triumph. She knew this acquisition wasn't just about the necklace. It was a strategic move that underscored her influence and position in the social hierarchy. She wanted to let them know she was more than them, now financially wise. As Sophia stood there, calmly absorbing Adriana's fiery glare, she couldn't help but find the situation hilariously ironic. Adriana, normally composed and strategic, now resembled a cartoon character with steam practically coming out of her ears. Her clenched fists and red-faced fury painted a comical picture against the backdrop of the elegant auction hall. Sophia stifled a chuckle behind a perfectly manicured hand, her eyes twinkling with amusement. She had seen Adriana competitive before, but this was on another level, a blend of determination and sheer exasperation that was both amusing and endearing in its intensity. After the auction concluded, Sophia found herself surrounded by a small group of attendees, among them the wives of one of the auction coordinators. They were known for their love of gossip and their acts for turning even the most mundane details into juicy stories. "Darling Sophia, wasn't that quite the spectacle?" One of them began, her voice laced with full sympathy, as she exchanged a knowing glance with her companion. "Oh, absolutely," the second woman chimed in, her tone conspiratorial. "That little showdown between you and Adriana was simply riveting." Sophia smiled politely, her mind already anticipating the inevitable gossip mill spinning into action. "It certainly was an eventful evening," she replied diplomatically, trying to keep the conversation light. The first woman leaned in closer, her voice dropping to a melodramatic whisper. "Adriana looked positively livid, dear. Did you see the way she glared at you?" Her companion nodded in exaggerated agreement. "Yes, quite the scene. I wonder what she'll say about it all." Sophia chuckled softly, playing along with the game of intrigue. "Oh, I'm sure Adriana has her thoughts. But you know how these things go in our circles." The women exchanged knowing glances, clearly hoping for more scandalous details. "Well, if you do happen to hear any more, do let us know, won't you, dear?" the first woman asked with a sly smile. "Of course," Sophia replied smoothly, though inwardly she was already planning her escape from the conversation. "If you'll excuse me, ladies, I must attend to a few matters." With a gracious nod, Sophia extricated herself from their gossip-laden circle, her smile remaining composed as she navigated through the elegant crowd. As she moved away, she couldn't help but shake her head at the predictable nature of high society gatherings, where intrigue and drama were often more prized than the jewels on display. After exchanging pleasantries with the well-known figures she would be working with during her stay in Spain, Sophia made her way over to Mr. Romano to bid him farewell for the evening. Romano greeted her warmly, expressing his gratitude for her attendance at the auction. "Thank you for joining us tonight, Sophia," Mr. Romano said with a genuine smile. "And I must say, your bid certainly made an impression." Sophia returned his smile graciously. "It was my pleasure to be here, Mr. Romano. I'm glad I could contribute." Mr. Romano nodded appreciatively. "Indeed, you did more than that. By the way, I wanted to let you know that my brother, Grayson, will be joining us in the office tomorrow. He's the president of our company." Sophia's interest was piqued at the mention of Grayson's imminent arrival. "Ah, I've heard a lot about him," she replied, genuinely curious. "I'm looking forward to finally meeting him." Mr. Romano smiled knowingly. "I'm sure you two will get along well. Grayson has a keen eye for talent and a knack for business strategy. I think you'll find his insights invaluable during your time here." "Thank you for letting me know, Mr. Romano," Sophia said gratefully. "I'll make sure to be prepared." With a final exchange of pleasantries, Sophia took her leave, her mind now focused on the upcoming meeting with Grayson. As Sophia was about to step into her black SUV and head home to her children, she heard someone call her name. She turned around with a knowing smirk, recognizing the voice instantly. It was Adriana, her face flushed with frustration, eyes blazing with anger. Clearly, the events of the auction were far from over for her. Looks like another drama is about to start again.